permission from the Noble Triple Gem, from Guru Thero and the Mahasangha. Dear Dharmishta Rajagirians, the school management and academic and non-academic staff, and our most loyal devotees present here in the room, as well as those who are in other areas of this building. I don't think everyone's in my line of sight right now. So from wherever you are, if you can hear me, thank you for organizing this wonderful event. We are here to celebrate 150 sermons conducted at Gateway College. This is the 150th one. Next week we'll have 149. So the 3-year anniversary was supposed to be next week, but for a very special reason, we arranged to have this very special occasion this week. And that very special occasion is a very special one for the chairman of this institution, Dr. Alice, as his mother will be turning 94 tomorrow. It is also a very special occasion for us as the Mahasangha, because it gives us a moment for admiration. We truly admire the length that children are prepared to go to honor their parents. You as regular attendees of these sermons know how often we talk about this and how important it is that we celebrate, we honor, and that we do as much good as we can in the name of our good parents, thanks to whom we are able to do what we are able to do today. This place probably would not be here today if it hadn't been for those very special parents. His late father, Mr. R.I.T. Alice, passed away some years ago. He was the founding member and the guiding light of this very special institution. And I always hear from Dr. Alice when we have the occasional conversations how his father was a true inspiration to him. Today I heard a little bit more about his mother as well, while he was sharing some thoughts about his mother with Guru Andhra. How while the both of them were serving as pillars of strength in the education field back in the day, they were truly his inspiration. And they were very strong figures that built him up to be the great man that he is today. I think we are all indebted to these parents in one way or the other. There may be among you those who were educated at this institution. Even if you hadn't come in here in a uniform, you are all educated here every Sunday morning, aren't you? to empower, to inspire, and to enlighten. When I first met Dr. Alice at this institution, I told him, you look after the other two parts, I will look after the enlightening part. I think the addition of the Gateway to Nibbana program to this magnificent institution has only excelled its prowess and the service that it continues to render to society. But all of this is also possible not only because of this institution and giving us the space and the time and these facilities for us to conduct the sermon here, but also because of you who turn up week on week. It's not just the place, the roof above our head, or the floor beneath our feet that make it home. It is also the people who live within. So those of you who have been coming to these talks, 150 of them, that tells me a lot about the fact that you have not much going on at home on the weekends. So you must be pretty boring people. It is either that or Monday to Friday exhausts you enough that come the weekend, you're looking for solace. In fact, I like to think that your weekends have now become your strong ends. Have they not? So they're no longer your weekends then. In fact, the rest of the week makes you weak. And come the weekend, you become strong enough so that you can survive the next 5 days. This is what the Dhamma can do, and this is what the Dhamma has done. The fact that there's this community here, you all, is the testimony to the Dhamma. I have not shared with you anything other than the Dhamma. None of us have. Not even the sandwiches, that was not my doing. That was still you. These venues, that was not my doing. The facilities you enjoy here, that was not my personal doing. That was not the Sangha. Not the monastic Sangha, if you like. The free parking that you get in the school's car park so that you can park your vehicles safely and have the knowledge that you can come in here, be relaxed and listen to the sermon. That was not my doing. All these decorations that you see week on week, that was not my doing either. I have not spent a moment or a minute of my time advising, guiding, or planning any of this stuff. So, whether it looks nice or it looks horrible, I take no credit, nor do I take blame for it. The only thing that I have been sharing with you over the last 150 weeks has been the Dhamma. That's it. So these anagarikas that sit at the front here today, you have been ever very kind and very respectful towards them, to arrange them first-class seating. I remember the last time we had this kind of occasion, they were not here at the front, but they were sprinkled in between and amongst you. Just as you are looking at me today with hope, perhaps one day, so were they. See, these perhaps one days do eventually become 2 days. It's possible, because that is what the Dhamma has done. This is the Dhamma. If anyone asks, what is this miracle? How come you have been able to gather a community of Rajagirians who themselves call themselves the Dharmishta Rajagirians? That was not my doing either. Somehow you thought that you were Dharmishta. No one consulted me whether that was okay or whether you were ready for that honor and title. No one asked me whether it was time for it or whether you were ready for it. But you somehow came up with the name, called yourselves righteous, and then the greatest honor of all is you lived by that name. Therefore, I've never had to challenge your choice of name for this community. And now it's a very, very popular name in various forums on the internet, on YouTube. People are commenting apparently, thanks to the Dharmishta Rajagirians and so on. Soon enough, you'll have your own logo, like RR stands for Rolls Royce. You'll probably have one that says DR. So this is the joint effort. The Mahasangha has played a part, that is to bring you the Dhamma. The chief benefactors, shall we say, who have provided us these facilities to conduct these sermons, charging not a penny, but giving wholeheartedly, have been instrumental in making these sermons possible. And then, none of this would make any sense if you weren't here to receive the teaching of the Buddha week on week. And not just that, not just to listen to the Dhamma, but to internalize it, to contemplate, to reflect, and to transform yourselves to become who you are today. Just look at the people on either side of you for a moment. These are not people you knew. Some years ago, a couple of years ago, these were not individuals you knew much of. They were strangers. If you bumped into them on the street, you'd have said, "Excuse me," not, "Hey, how are you doing?" But those "excuse me's" have now become Thero Ansarnais. What a transformation. How come the words Thero Ansarnai have become so commonplace among you now? You might have heard these words growing up, perhaps at the temple on Poya days. Maybe on Rupavahini when they used to play these Poya day programs or the sermons. And the Swamin Wahanse used to say it just before he would talk to his audience. But to come to a point where it has now become part of your vocabulary, your day-to-day vocabulary, that speaks volumes. In fact, it has come to a point where you greet each other with those words. I've heard that. And it's not just people who are born and brought up here, but also those who have been joining us from across the oceans. Online we see conversations going on that start with Thero Ansarnai. In person we have seen conversations that start and end with Thero Ansarnai. That's because Thero Ansarnai has happened to you. That is why. This is the benediction sermon. As you know, this is the last segment of today's event. The benediction sermon is supposed to reflect on the good deeds that we have done throughout the day and rejoice in them. So this is an opportunity for us to discuss, to talk about what good we have been able to achieve together and how that's going to help us on our way going forward. So that is the purpose of this talk. From the moment we arrived here this morning, and all the prep work that went into organizing this, just as you did last time, when we arrived here, everything was ready. Spick and span, nothing left for us to do. Everything was done. From the umbrellas, the mutukura to the pavada, to the flower trays, to the reception, to welcoming, everything, to the alms hall, to the sermon hall, all of that was done in good order and to the highest standard expected of this Dharmishta Rajagirian group. Every time our monks come here, they are impressed. They are impressed to see a little bit of the monastery, but an hour and a half away from the monastery. How that has become possible. To be able to plant a little bit of Jetvanarama in Rajagiriya, or a bit of, I say, Ingiriya in Rajagiriya, both Giriya, so Yatagiriya, is how we always have to speak to you. This has been quite impressive. So there are part-timers, and then when you're ready, you can become full-timers. And when you are full-timers, we shift you from Rajagiriya to Ingiriya. That has been the way we do things here. So, part-timers, buckle up, fasten your seatbelts, get ready. Because if 150 was able to extract from you 4 of them, 2 anagarikas, so that's 5. 5 total from Rajagiriya so far. In 150 sermons, we were able to achieve that. Come another 150. That will not be 5 more, but many more. I'm here with an agenda. I have my ulterior motives. But I play fair. All my tactics, my dirty tactics if you like, I lay bare. So I'm here with an agenda. Guru Hamra is very pedantic about these matters. He won't let us waste our time. He is very particular about the fact that our actions bring us results. So this endeavor has to yield results. And the results that he is most proud of, I need not say, is when you become an Ingirian from a Rajagirian. That could either be as an Anagarika, a Sila Shravaka, a Sila Shravika, or a Sila Vasi, or even a noble Hartian. So there are lots of opportunities for those who are willing to go a little bit more to seek their salvation within the Sri Gautama Buddha Sasana. There may be more sasanas on the way, but who knows when? It's a complete miracle, the fact that we have been born at a time when the Buddha Sasana is available to us. This dispensation has an expiry date, you know this, right? Our lives have an expiry date. So this is like 2 trains driving in the same direction, or rather in opposite directions. They're going to collide. And when there's a collision, there's going to be complete chaos and destruction. So either your life is going to come to an end, or the sasana is going to come to an end, or either both of them are going to come to an end simultaneously. And when that happens, ladies and gentlemen, we will not have a sasana. There will not be a purpose or a reason for us to come together like this. Then we will just be another community of Colombians. Because there are many local communities like this for various purposes throughout the country, throughout the world. But this is a very special community because we are here to yield very special results. And I know as a school, this institution cares deeply about the results that it's able to yield from the students that it takes in and works on and develops. So anything we do, we have 2 principles then. One is the principle of this institution and the other is the principle of Jetvanarama. I'm referring to Guru Hamra, of course. So these 2 principles, they're both very dedicated and committed to what they're doing. So this place has been opened up to us because we are here with purpose. Guru Swami Mahanse sends one of his students here every week because he expects results. So the best results are those results that you see around you, in front of you and on the side. But the rest of them, I trust, are coming along on the way. They're still in the oven, shall we say. This is all possible because of the merit that you're doing. Speaking of merit, and this being the benediction sermon, quite an interesting thought came to my mind and I thought I'd share it with you. Lately I've been reflecting quite a bit about how we use language to communicate our feelings. I think last week we had a very interesting conversation about that. And even it was a carry-on from last week to yesterday's sermon as well, if you were there at the monastery. Many things start in Rajagiri and sometimes end in Ingiri as well. Because here I only have 2-3 hours to do the sermon. But whatever's left over, we go and then, when I get a chance to speak to the Ingirian family, we expand on some of those topics. And so they benefit from the collective merit power that we have here as well. And that is our use of language to express our feelings and emotions. So as I was thinking about this, the good work that we've been doing, merit, 2 words came to my mind. And I thought, how interesting that those 2 words have been implanted in our minds, yet how far they are from what truly happens. These 2 words are benefactor and what's the other word that goes hand in hand with that? The beneficiary. These 2 words, the benefactor and the beneficiary. Let's take an example from today. Now, just a moment ago, you offered alms to the Mahasangha, right? In a very conventional sense, who's the benefactor? You. Because you offered alms to the Mahasangha. Who's the beneficiary? The Mahasangha. Why is that? Because they were the ones who benefited from it. Really? Really? You think so? This is what I say. Sometimes these words, we coin these words and they are used they have become very commonplace. And we use these words in a very relaxed way because it's utilitarian. It helps us to communicate, but that's it. Sometimes the meaning behind these words couldn't be further from the truth. And the reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, is because those who invented language, for whatever reason, be that commerce, economics, to run the world in one way or the other, these words were engineered with no consideration for this concept of merit. There was no consideration of the concept of merit. When you pay for something, you can buy something. This is how people understand the way the world works. Like yesterday, we were talking about the tax system. We have come to think that when we pay our taxes, we are made availed the streets, the street lighting, and the other common facilities that are made available to us. It is all because of the taxes we pay. But that cannot be true. It cannot be true for the reason that most people don't pay their taxes happily. Because whatever you get, you can only get if you give. And some things are giving if it's only done happily. If you don't give something happily, it's as good as not being given at all. It only becomes charity, it only becomes giving if it's given with rejoicing in your heart. with happiness. If you're happy about what you're giving, then that counts as a merit. Then that counts as giving. Otherwise, it's a mere transaction of something. It could be goods, could be services, could be something material. Therefore, to think that the tax system is what avails these public services to us, like education, the health service, these are things that we consider things as we benefit because of us paying our taxes, right? But that's not true. Why? Find me 5 people who pay their taxes happily and are eager to pay their taxes. What do we do most of the time? You are prepared to pay a tax accountant top dollar to reduce your taxes so that you can pay as little as possible because you don't like paying taxes. But if it came to gifting your mother on her birthday, or gifting your children for being good or getting good grades at school, would you spend as little as possible or would you spend wholesomely? Because you want to give them the best. You want to give them happily and you're happy about the fact that you have the opportunity to give. But when it comes to taxes, we don't feel that way. We don't feel like it's an opportunity for us to give. We feel that it's a necessity. It's an evil necessity. Everyone has to contribute. They have to contribute, not they get to contribute. That's not how most people feel. I'm trying to explain to you the downside of that. So when you're not happy about the fact that you pay your taxes, you don't get any merits for that. As you don't earn any merits for that, you are not now entitled to any goodness to come back as a result of that. Because whatever good we experience in our lives, ladies and gentlemen, whatever comforts we experience in our lives, it is not due to things we pay. It's because of the merits that we have earned. This is the Buddha's teaching. This is Jesus' teaching. This is the teaching in the Holy Quran. They say pay your taxes. Yes, pay your taxes because that is your duty. But any good that comes to you because of the good that you do. Do good and good shall come back to you. Do bad, do evil, and the same shall come back to you. Therefore, if today you have free education, we are all proud to have received free education from our country. We get a free health service in our country. It is not something that's available in every part of the world. We get free street lighting. Yes, you pay your taxes, yes. But to think that these are all given to you because of your taxes is wrong thinking. The point I'm trying to make here is, if it's something that you benefit from, it's because of something you have given but happily, not something you have given because you had to give. Do you understand the difference between these two things? That is why I often encourage people, I'm not suggesting you must now pay off the odds, pay as much tax as you possibly can. That's not what I'm suggesting, because then you'd think I've gone crazy to even suggest something like that. But whatever tax you have to pay, whatever dime you have to pay or penny you have to pay, do ensure that you pay it happily. Because that happiness you spread is the happiness that comes back to you. In the same manner, ladies and gentlemen, whatever goodness that comes to you is a result of the goodness that you give out. Therefore, these two words, benefactor and beneficiary, I think, do not truly convey the idea of merit doing. Because like I said, today we had an almsgiving, and before that we had a sermon. So Guru Andhra kindly came and gave a sermon to all of us. Once again, I might ask you the question, who's the benefactor, who's the beneficiary? When the Buddha says, Sabbadanang Dhammadanang Jinati, of all giving, the giving of Dhamma is supreme. The giving of Dhamma is supreme. He didn't say the listening of Dhamma is supreme, or the receiving of Dhamma is supreme. The giving of Dhamma is supreme. Therefore, when a sermon is given, It is the giver who benefits the most out of it. When an alms is given, who benefits the most from it? Once again, it's the giver. True, the recipient benefits, but to think that the recipient benefits more than the one who gives is flawed thinking. So let me tell you why it is I raise this point with you today. I have sometimes seen, not with this community, but having spent my many years of life with various individuals, I have seen that there are some who consider themselves to be very successful. Typically it happens when people are money rich but time poor. In the first part of our life, we are the other way around, aren't we? We are time rich and money poor, and later on we become money rich and time poor. So when we become time poor, we hardly have time to do merit. But we have the time to earn money, but we don't have the time to do merit with the money that we have earned, because we might as well spend that time as well doing what? Earning more money. You tell me whether money making is merit making? Is money making merit making? Is it? No, money making is not merit making. Particularly given the fact that most of the time when you're making money, you're doing it because, yes, money makes you happy, perhaps money makes you happy, but the effort that you have to put in to make the money, that doesn't make you happy. That's why you're here on Sunday mornings. If the effort that you put into making money was also as joyful as receiving the money that you made out of it, then you would not need a weekend. Every day should be a work day. So why do you take a holiday? Because although the money gives you joy, the money making process, that is taxing on you, is it not? That's exhausting. That's why we have annual leave. Why do we need annual leave? Why do we need time off from work? If work was so fun, if every day was payday, that'd be all right. But not every day is payday. 29 days of the month is work day and 1 day is payday. Which day are you happiest to get into work? Now these days they put the money into the bank account. But back then, you had to go into work to collect your paycheck. Right? Those were the happiest days. The stalls, the shops, they would put special offers on those days because people were happy about the fact that they had got their paycheck at the end of the month, so they would go spending because they were happy. But they were not happy on the day after payday because now you have to wait another month to get your paycheck. What is the favorite day of the week? Friday. And the worst day of the week? See? They call it the what feeling? The Monday feeling? I used to work in banking for a long time, and I remember my colleagues used to call it the Monday morning feeling. And the Friday evening feeling in contrast. So these were on the two ends of the spectrum. There's the Friday evening feeling, and then there was the Monday morning feeling. When there was a guy who no one liked in the office, they used to call him Mondays. I wondered why initially, but then later on someone explained it to me. Why do you call him Monday? I said, well, who likes Mondays? But I raise the question to you. Why is it that no one likes Mondays then? They like the money at the end of the month, but not the money making. Therefore, what does that say about the money making process? It's not fun. It's not joyful. Most of all, you're not happy. That's why you look for a break. That's why you look for some time out. That's why you look for respite. That's why you look to take a holiday. The money making is not joyful. It's not enjoyable. Therefore, put two and two together now then, ladies and gentlemen. You are an intelligent audience. If the money-making process is not fun, if it's not joyful, if it gives you no happiness, how much merit do you think you earn out of that? How much? Hardly any. When the heart isn't happy, no merits are made. Simple as that. Whatever you do with a happy heart earns you boundless amounts of merit. Whenever the heart isn't happy, it earns you no merits. That's why yesterday we talked about this. When you give, if you don't give happily, you might as well not give at all. The recipient benefits, yes, the recipient benefits, but you don't benefit because it is not given happily. Chetanaham bhikkhave kammam vadami. Dana is a chetana. Dana is not an action. It's not a transaction. It's a chetana. It's an intention. So if by intent you're happy, then that is when you earn merits. So do you understand then? When we become money rich but time poor, what happens? Now think carefully. Do you remember when you were younger, you would have drawn pictures because you had plenty of time, right? Pictures of Buddha, pictures of whatever deities or your, whoever you had devotion for, maybe your parents, people you liked, things you liked. You used to draw pictures. I remember when I was younger drawing a picture of Buddha, drawing pictures of the Buddha. You might have done the same when you were younger. You had time to do that, right? No one was chasing after you going, hey, where's the report? Have you sent the email? Have you made the call? How many today? How many? Where's your, are you on target? No one was on your case because you had all the time in the world. You may not realize this, ladies and gentlemen, but because you had a lot of time in your hands, you earned a lot of merits back then when you were younger. All you did was take a sheet of paper, get hold of some pastel or something, or crayon, and draw a picture of the Buddha. You did that for 2 long hours and it looked horrendous. So much so that people would ask you, what is that Buddha? Soon after the fact that you got over the fact that people were asking you what it was when you thought it was obvious, and after explaining to them that it was a picture of the Buddha, you were happy about the fact that you had drawn the picture of the Buddha. And in those 2 hours, what did you do doing? Merit. You earned merits because you had a lot of time on your hands. Whenever there was a funeral home, you were there. You helped out because you were time rich, but money poor. You were not in high demand, not in the marketplace, not in the economy, not at your workplace. There was no work to do at the time. You were not employed. You had a lot of time on your hands. When there was a dhan seller, you were there organizing it. When there was a malagedara, a funeral home, you were there organizing it. When there was some kind of pinkam at the temple, you were there organizing it. Like what you do here every Sunday. When there was a dhanagedara in the village, when your friends got together to give alms, what did you do? You got together, you helped them. Sometimes days beforehand, you started to prepare for it. You went there, you painted the house, you mowed the lawn, removed the cobwebs. You did a lot of work to help your friends organize get ready for the almsgiving. You went to the temple with the adults and invited the Swami Mahanses. And while you were there, you did some more merit work at the temple as well. Do you remember going to the temple when you were younger? How much time you were able to spend there? You see, when we were younger, it was our parents who insisted, come on, Putta, we have to get going. Right? We have work to do. Tomorrow is Monday. Come on, Putta, we have to get going. Come on, we have to get going, Right, quickly, go do the flowers, do the lamp, do the Hanunkuru, let's go. But what did we want to do while we were at the temple? We wanted to stay there because it felt very relaxed, very serene. We weren't rushed because we were time rich, money poor, But the fact was, we were time rich. Now fast forward life from then to where we are today. You know what happened to you? You grew up. You grew up. And when you started growing up, when you became adults and stopped being children, now everyone started making demands of you. You were wanted at the workplace. You were wanted at the office. You were wanted by your employers. You had to be places. You had to meet people. You had to do things. Therefore, you became busier and busier and busier and busier. Granted, for all that busyness, there was a paycheck at the end of the month. But you didn't have any time left. And because you had no time left, there was hardly any time to do anything that made you happy. There was no time to do anything that would give you happiness. To the point that today we have come to a place where we don't even have time for our parents. You ask yourselves this question: how often do you get to go and see your parents? Be with them. I was very happy to hear Dr. Alice saying, every week, 2 days of the week, I make sure that I'm with my mother no matter what else happens. I'm always there with her to make sure that my duties are fulfilled and she has her son with her. He's a very busy man, but he still finds the time to do that. So for those of you who are still able to find the time to do that, you're fortunate. But today we have come to a point where we hardly have time to do any of that. Those days going to the temple was a very frequent thing. People used to go at least once a month. Now because of this community, perhaps you have started to associate with the Mahasangha more than you used to. But before this community ever became a thing, where were you? What happened on Poya days? Temple? Temple trees. The temple was off the agenda. Why? Because no time. We have to either make money or be with the people who are making money. So no time. No time to be with our family, no time to be with our children, no time to be with our teachers, no time to be with our parents, no time to be with the community, no time to be at the dansala, no time to be at the Shramadana, no time to be helping at the old people's home, no time to help at the orphanage, no time. So here's what we did to make our minds up about it. What we couldn't find the time to do, we compensated by paying for it. Therefore, in this day and age, it has become a thing. I'm not suggesting for a moment that this is what we do. I think you're beginning to change if that is what you were before the Dhamma came into your lives. But it still happens a lot of the places, ladies and gentlemen, where people are struggling to put in the time to earn merits. They think it's okay to compensate that by giving something. So I can't go to the alms giving. What I'll do is, I've got a lot of money that I've earned, I'll just give them some money for it and let them do the alms giving. I can't go to the temple because I don't have the time, but what I'll do is, I'll ring the chief monk and I'll ask him how much for this, how much for that, and I'll just transfer some money. That's a one-off event. I'm not suggesting that it doesn't earn merits, but it's a one-off event. And that one-off event might be a grand event, but it's still a one-off event. The amount of merit that you accumulate has a direct correlation to the amount of chittas that engage in that merit. Please remember that, and remember that for the rest of your lives, because it will serve you well. To emphasize, I will repeat it. The amount of merit you earn, ladies and gentlemen, has a direct correlation to the number of chittas that are engaged in that meritorious deed. Now you tell me what happens when you become time poor. Now you don't have the time to engage in any merit for any extended or prolonged period of time. But we make our minds up by thinking it's okay, we can compensate for that. How? How much for the painting? How much for the alms giving? How much for the funeral casket? How much for the flowers? Okay, I'll send a check. I'll make a transfer. How long does it take you to make a transfer now? You take your smartphone. In a matter of seconds, if not minutes, the transfer is done. How much merit do you earn as a result of that? Remember, it has a direct correlation to the number of chittas engaged in that deed. As a one-off event, yes, it earns you a lot of merits because you are giving. Nonetheless, if you are doing it happily, you earn some merits. Yes, of course you do. I'm not denying that. But the fact still remains that if you are not thoroughly engaged in that process, the amount of merits you earn is very limited, restricted to the number of chittas engaged in that merit. My suggestion to you then, ladies and gentlemen, is do try find the time to engage in meritorious deeds because that is what will serve you. I am not asking this of you as a favor to myself. I'm asking this of you as a favor to yourself. Because whatever comforts you enjoy in life, whatever goodness you enjoy in life, whatever happiness you enjoy in life is completely and entirely down to whatever merits you have earned. I say this without a shadow of a doubt because today I understand how the universe works. And that is not by obtaining a PhD in astronomy or cosmology, but by understanding the fact that the entire universe is a creation of the mind, and therefore the dynamics of the universe are determined by how the mind works. Your mind is what creates the world in which you live. Therefore, everything you receive and everything you are denied, these are all creations of your own mind. This is why it's crucial that you engage yourself, find the time to do merits, not just find the bank account numbers and do those transfers. I speak to this community particularly about this because you will be more inclined to doing that because there are a lot of people who demand your time. You're very important people in society. You're very influential people in society. You're very respected in society for the service that you render to society. I'm sure each and every one of you, if you went missing for a week, your name will be on the newspaper. People will come looking for you. Unlike some people, if they went missing, no one would know. But that could not be said about you. If you went missing for a couple of days, your local town, your communities, your co-workers, people will start looking for you. They'll get very worried. That's because you're a very important part of society. You are a cog that makes the entire system work. But what is the price that you pay to be that cog? The price is you are now time poor because you have now invested most of that time to money making, not fill in the blank, not merit making. But when we had more time on our hands, we were doing a lot more merit making and less time making, or less money making. But it's merits that bring us every goodness, not money. Have you not heard of people who are very rich yet are not happy at all? So if happiness is what we seek in life, and merits is what bring that to us, then isn't merits what we should be earning and working hard on? See, this is why I admire this community. Once again, I come back to that point. Guru Hamdara insists that I always talk to you about it and appreciate for the work that you do together. This collective merit making that you have been doing, these Anagarika, they're always talking about how grateful they are that from the day they arrived here, you were always there to guide you, support, or to guide them, to support them. When they could bring no pirikara, you were there prepared with pirikara to offer to them to come and offer to Swami Wahanse. To this day, they are very grateful about that. And if I'm not mistaken, once a week they all get together and do a merit transfer. They do that merit transfer particularly for the Rajagirian community, because they are grateful that it is this community that produced them. If these are the fruits, then the tree must be very strong and very good and very wholesome. But this collective merit making that you're all engaged in, that is very important for your progress. Therefore, whatever work you do when you come here on Sunday mornings, try and be part of that. If you come in at a certain time, see if you can, at least on some days, if not every week, come in 10 minutes before. Just so that 10 minutes can give you some time to engage in some merit work. If you come in just after Swami Wahanse has arrived, see if you can come in 15 minutes before that. So that 15 minutes before Swami Wahanse has arrived, there might be some merit work you could engage in. It could be laying down the chairs, it could be cleaning the washrooms, it could be arranging these flowers, it could be the decorations that happen here, it could be laying down the pavada, whatever it is. All of that is merit making. Don't be fooled by the world's pledge that the more money you make, the more happy you can be. It's not so, ladies and gentlemen. I have proven the point to you, because you make money throughout the week, yet you look forward to the weekend. The weekend during which you make no money, but the weekend during which you go looking for relief from all that effort, from all that exertion, from all that toiling that you've been doing throughout the week. You're looking for relief during those 2 weeks. That says something, does it not? Money might make you happy, but the money-making process does not. So when you are the benefactor, remember that you must also be the beneficiary at the same time. Like today's almsgiving. There was an opportunity both in the morning and in the afternoon for you to engage in that. So in the morning, all of you got together and gave alms to the Swami Wahanses. And someone came to me and thanked me profusely for arranging the collective almsgiving that you did to each other. I asked you last week to bring something from home so that you can share it with everyone. Someone said that was a great success and it's been a feast, to the point where I began to wonder whether that dana is better than this dana. But that is also merit making. That's exactly what I wanted, for all of you to engage in this merit making process. That's why in the morning we went to alms with our alms go to each and every one of you, so that you can all engage in that. And in the afternoon we had just for the midday alms, we had another alms giving here. So 2 alms givings in one day. 1 sermon in the morning, a benediction sermon in the afternoon, a Buddha puja, all these decorations. Many upasakas and upasikas have been fed, nourished. The Mahasangha has been fed, nourished. There's a lot of merit making that has happened throughout the day. All made possible because of this community spirit that you have. It's one for all and all for one. I think I am right when I say that you are all here for one reason. You all want to cross the ocean of samsara. You all understand that life is a punishment. Do you disagree? That life is a punishment? A punishment where there is no exit clause. Although life is a punishment, suicide is not the answer. It's not the answer because it just makes the punishment worse. Therefore, there is no exit clause. The only exit is extinction. And that is only offered by the Buddha Sasana. So you have understood this. There are many people in society who think that they are unhappy because they don't have what you have. You should talk to them sometimes. Honestly, there are many people in society, they think they are unhappy because they don't have what you have. They think they are unhappy because they don't drive the cars that you drive. They think they are unhappy because they don't live in the houses that you live, or in the streets of Colombo that you live. They think they are unhappy because they don't have the wives that you have. See, even you laughed at that, right? But that's what they think. Little do they know. Because you know what we're really good at? Hiding our woes. We're very good at that. We hide our woes. We're very good at putting on these masks that make it look to the rest of society that we are having a jolly good time. Because behind closed doors, no one knows what's going on. No one knows, no one hears the weeps and the laments and the cries and the tears that are shed behind closed doors. Only you and sometimes your closest family. Everyone outside, no one knows. They think you're having a jolly good time because the moment you step outside, you're holding hands. And whenever you post your pictures on Facebook and your Instagrams, they're all having a jolly good time. That's all people know about. Everyone's like that. They don't show the ugly side of their lives. So everyone is fooled by each other. That is what society is. It's one big drama. But you're here because you acknowledge that. You're here because you recognize that. You recognize that although behind closed doors, or rather outside our doors, we pretend to be happy, inside it's a whole other story. And you're here looking for answers. That's why you are here. A couple of weeks ago I asked you, put your hand up, those who are married, those who are unmarried, those who are educated and the uneducated, those who are resident here and resident in other countries, Sri Lankan nationals and foreign nationals. We did the whole survey, didn't we? Remember? Yeah, and then we have the lot here. Everyone's here. So how come everyone's here? If someone's worked it out, then they shouldn't be here, should they? So no one's won the jackpot, but everyone's buying a lottery in the hope that one of them will be the jackpot. But guess what? There is no jackpot. But they advertise that. They promise that there's always going to be the jackpot. So everyone's buying the lottery. Week on week, everyone's buying the lottery. You are lucky, ladies and gentlemen, that we have now come across the Sri Sambuddha Sasana. We are very fortunate in that regard. I have no words to explain to you how fortunate we all are. So, get out of your heads the fact that you are this and that in society for a moment. You are this person, that person. You might be a big shot in society, but in the face of Mara, you are just another life. You might be a big fry or a small fry, but in the face of death, you are just another one waiting to happen. In the law of Dharma, in the court of Dharma, you are just another one waiting to be judged. I won't judge you, but the court of Dharma will judge you based on your actions. We have all sinned. Is there anyone here who would be brave enough to put their hand up and say, no, Sean, no, you can speak for yourself. I haven't sinned one day. Not once in my life have I sinned. Let's be honest then. We are a room full of sinners. So why do we hope? Why do we think that only good shall come to us? Therefore, we need an escape. We need an escape not from someone else, not from someone else who's trying to get at us, or who's trying to kill us, or chase us, or thieve from us. We need an escape from the consequences of our own sins. And that escape was granted to us by the Lord Buddha. He gave us a path to freedom. Freedom not from someone else. The threat that is looming are the consequences of your own previous bad actions. You know it's been done. It's done now. You can't reverse it. You can't correct it. All you can do is now do as much good as possible so that your exit comes closer to you as much as possible, as quickly as possible. Therefore, what we have done today, in memory of a mother, thanks to whom, and a father, thanks to whom, a late father, thanks to whom, this nation has seen two great sons, both who have left a very indelible name in our nation, and one to whom we are particularly grateful, because as a community we have benefited week on week for the last 3 years to have a home away from home, where we have been able to come together in peace, in harmony, listen to the teaching of the Buddha, practice the Dhamma, and not only that, it has been a place that has produced individuals who are now on the noble path. That is truly something, I have to say. This is not just an average place, it's a very special place. It has produced noble sons and noble daughters. Therefore, the Buddha would condone this institution as a place where his Dhamma can flourish. Because we have witnessed results. Therefore, this collective merit making we have been doing for the last 3 years, ladies and gentlemen, has been truly remarkable. And today, in memory of that mother and father, let us transfer all these merits that we have acquired. Mrs. Rohini Alice will be turning 94 tomorrow. May these merits help her live a life of good health, and may she rejoice in these merits in whichever capacity she is able to. May she come to awareness that the great place that she has helped build by building 2 amazing children and gifting them, or 3 children rather, and gifting them to this world, and this great institution that she has helped nurture and nourish in that way has begun to produce fruits for the Sambuddha Sasana. Please make sure that she is informed of that, sir. She is a mother who has produced a generation of noble ones, and she has nourished this noble community in that way. It is also in memory of Mr. Malik Alice, who is a son who is not with us today. But in his name as well, the 2 brothers have organized, along with help from the management of the school and the staff and their friends and the Rajagirian community, this great and grand occasion, this event, this meritorious event. So by the power of merits that we have all acquired, and all the love and affection that you have shown to one another, to the Mahasangha, and the affection with which you have produced these Anagarika Buddhas and the Anagarika daughters, who are today thriving in the Sambuddha Sasana, and one day will go on to bear children of their own, which is to produce even more of them to this world. May all these merits that we have acquired help us all progress on this journey as we go on from success to success. And success means only one thing to all of us, that is freedom from suffering, to refrain from the unmeritorious deeds, fulfill the meritorious deed, fulfill the Noble Eightfold Path, and may we all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Before we conclude, the members of the Mahasangha will transfer their blessings to all of you. Ragaginnen midatva Deshaginnen midatva Moginnen midatva Nibbana Parama Sukhayen Sukhitatarvetva Nibbana Parama Sukhayen Sukhitatarvetva Mamada Siyalu Loka Siyalu Satvayo Nibbana Parama Sukhayen Sukhitatarvetva Nibbana Parama Sukhayen Sukhitatarvetva Nibbana Parama Sukhayen Sukhitatarvetva Ragavini Niveva Veshagini Niveva Mohagini Niveva Nivan Sakaladeva Nivan Sakaladeva Nivan Sakaladeva Tunduange Suisi Ananta Mahaguna Belen Silu Loka Silu Sattyo Nibbana Parama Sukhayen Sukhitatarvetva Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu